All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Monday, February 8th, post Super Bowl edition here of our afternoon meeting. I hope everybody enjoyed the big game yesterday. Great to see everybody. We are good to go live inside our trading room. Chuck, loud and clear from him. I saw from some folks before like Pedro, Jose, Kath, Jerry, Taz. Great to see you all. And for all of us streaming on social media, welcome on back, Facebook Live and YouTube, that is. So let's hop right into it. Obviously, for right now, we have the ENO trade on the screen, INO, Novio Pharmaceuticals. We'll talk about that to begin. But obviously, you know what I'm here to talk about, folks. Big news on Bitcoin with Riot to Mara, all these blockchain-related stocks making huge gains in the morning. So we'll talk about that coming up. But for right now, the INO trade making a really nice pop heading into the afternoon. I haven't even checked in on Benzinga Pro for the news on INO. I wanted to prep this meeting by copying and pasting the Tesla news with Bitcoin. But I'm going to take my first peek into Benzinga Pro for INO. I don't really see any headline here so far. No headline. Doesn't even say no company specific news, like that little blurb that you would hear me say at times. So, hey, for right now, given this run up into the afternoon, I don't mind slipping this on our main list to begin. Very familiar name, INO. We all do pretty well in the stock when it runs off of news or earnings or whatever it may be at the time. So here, there's no news justifying the price action, but, we'll add this to our list right away. We'll check out the VXRT trade while we're at it. VAXRT, that made a nice early afternoon pop right around 1 o'clock Eastern from 920. Moved up to a high at the time, 978. The IBIO trade I called out heading into the early afternoon. This was the first one of those that I had called out, and this one probably made the lamest move of them all. So it goes to show this is a pretty slow mover anyway. It's cheap, which is good. You could load up on a lot of shares, and it's slow, which is good in the sense of it being a level 1 stock. But whereas you thought there could have been just a move up towards 260 and above or even higher from there, just didn't get it. Came right back down. The CODX trade very flat right now. Sorrento pretty flat, although up 5%. I'll probably come back to VXRT at the end of the meeting. I don't mind keeping the INO trade just on our main list to begin. All right. So let's dig into it, folks. The big news that came out over the pre-market this morning. I know that all of us live inside the trading room are caught up to speed with this, but Tesla, they announced that back just this past month in January that the company invested $1.5 billion. That's B as in billion. In Bitcoin, the company says that it expects to begin accepting currency as a form of payment for their cars, for their products in the near future. And obviously with that, Bitcoin took off. So I want to show my Bitcoin chart here, folks. I haven't done one of these in a little while, probably in like a week or so, just to show my live Bitcoin chart, just to show where we're all at, what happened once that news came out, and how we could have traded it. Let's see. Can I get my chart up here? Good. For all of us live inside the trading room, just let me know if you could see it. I believe you should, so I'm going to continue, but just wanted to ask to begin. All right. So with that, we're good. All right, cool. So Bitcoin, you could see here, we saw this back in, January ended up making a huge breakout from 30,000 all the way up towards 42 at the time. So came crashing back down. And ever since, it's been making these lower highs, right? And we've been watching Bitcoin here in this meeting. I've been showing you, hey, there's a chance where this could drop down to 26 even. Thankfully, it didn't. It held a higher low practically off like 28.5. And then from there, once it started squeezing back up, we ended up seeing right over here, pretty interesting, January 29th. If everybody sees this big flash pop up and it came back down, that day was the day that Elon Musk ended up putting hashtag Bitcoin in his Twitter bio. That was the sole reason as to why this exploded as much as it did. There was, of course, speculation before that for Elon Musk and Tesla to put some portion of their treasury reserve asset into Bitcoin. You have CEOs like Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy trying to, convince him over the last couple of months via Twitter. And with that, well, today, this morning, right around 8 o'clock, we ended up seeing the news, finally become official. And with that, Bitcoin blasted to break a new all-time high. I will say the move was pretty much, kick-started by the pop here from the 29th. It ended up breaking this trend line that I had off the tops here at the time. It was a pump and dump at the time. But on the next breakout here, and this is before, obviously, today, but once it rebroke this trend line, that's what really led to this next move up. And then obviously here, the big pop with the news coming out this morning. So where does that leave Bitcoin? Where does that leave Riot, Mara, FTFT, all these other blockchain-related stocks? PayPal too, of course. Well, I would only assume for them to keep going up, right? But for Bitcoin next, it's an uncharted territory. I would anticipate, and this is just my shoot from the hip answer, my shoot from the hip guess, we'll call it, right? I'm no financial advisor. I'm not directing any sort of sell or financial advice here, but it is for me to say that my prediction, I think our next top will be around like 60 or 62,000. That's my next shoot from the hip guess. All right. So we'll see. We'll have some fun with this over the next few months ahead. Maybe just the next month we'll make that move, but we'll see. We'll check in with this pretty much day over day. If I could drag this down to my other screen, that'd be great. Perfect. Oh, actually, before we dig into Riot, I may as well show. I had a number of students ask me about this one other cryptocurrency, one that's taken really the market by storm the last 2 weeks. Cardano, ADA. I've had like Andrea, Skip, Bill. I mean, a lot of us in the chat board messaging me. I may as well just show this here too. Really over the last 5-7 days, really, this has exploded. I've been in this practically from like 10 cents. My first entry was at 7 cents, 7.2. This over the last few weeks, like I said, has just blown up from like 35 cents all the way up towards the high this morning of 72, 73 cents pretty much here. I don't even think that Binance shows the charting history before they listed. Nope, they don't. This is not an all-time high, but unfortunately, I don't have the historical data otherwise to show you. Pretty much Cardano, this one, ADA, is at a historical resistance, a monthly resistance, right off 72 cents. So it wasn't surprising that this kind of held here, pulled back. It wouldn't shock me if it drops off a little bit from there, but with the hype with this, with the hype with Bitcoin, the crypto market altogether, we have a lot of fun ahead here, I feel like. So I'm looking forward to it. All right, so let's check in with Riot. We'll check in with all the other crypto stocks. Riot, look at this thing go now. Wow. So it goes to show now at this point with the market flat entirely, with Bitcoin pretty flat for right now. Maybe it will pop up pretty shortly from now. But man, Riot's a beast. New high of the day right now on the way up to 32. You have a 42,000 share order just about on the ask. Now, this is not an all-time high. So I want to go back on this. The last time that Bitcoin was running back in 2017, I always show this. Riot went from 5 to 45. All right. A couple questions here in the chat board and in Cyber Group. Jerry just answering that. And then Taz, that's my exchange that I buy from. A lot of exchanges down today, by the way, guys, with Bitcoin popping. There's so much demand for it now. Not as much supply as we all know, but there's so much demand for Bitcoin, so many new accounts signing up. So Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, all of these exchanges I know have been down or just like crashing here and there. I'm sure that they'll get back to normal operation. But man, this Riot is just smooth sailing. We'll check in on the Mara stock here as well. Yep, on the way up to 31 as we speak. A big old iceberg got filled in yellow and green there on the tape. So I'd wait to see a little bit more coming in off that 31. But both of these looking really strong right now for the close. You've always heard me say, folks, at least back when these were like $5 or $6 stocks, but Raya and Marit, they were never good afternoon trades. Yeah, I think that will kind of break that rule here today. I hope so, at least. They certainly look to be strong enough to just keep going higher for right now. The FTFT trade, not nearly right now. This is pretty flat. BT up big, up 23+%. Looks like it's making higher lows, trying to break out over 22. Wouldn't shock me if this does it, but the spread's pretty big. The liquidity is pretty thin on both sides. So I like the Raya, the Mara easily, and then the others will kind of just keep on the side for right now. All right, so we got a couple questions on YouTube right now. First from P Trader, he was saying ZOM was a good one, low price, and then we have another user here saying or asking, what do you think about the OCGN? So great segue. We'll go right from top to bottom here. Otherwise, of course, our focus outside of Bitcoin was on the OCGN. So, man, I mean, this might freeze my platform. So I want to kind of go quick with this trade. Given the volatility right now for the afternoon, I'm certainly going to put this on our watch list. Will this be, a stock that we certainly trade? I don't know. Hopefully. I mean, it's up big still already on the day. So, it's kind of holding off 15, squeezing up to 16 as we speak. If it shows direction still within the next 5 or 10 minutes, hopefully this will give it a lot more room to continue to go up towards those highs or even higher into the afternoon. But yeah, otherwise, just for as much as it moved up earlier, no surprise that it dumped off and it is still shortable. I wouldn't really try and short this as it's going up. So you could actually see pretty much off the lows here at the time. Once this started to kind of break down off these highs and begin to break below support at 17, that was a sweet opportunity for a short. Crashed all the way down to like 12.50, $13, previous resistance, and squeezed back up. So given the volatility, I'm certainly going to put the OCGN back on our main watch list. Hopefully it doesn't freeze my platform right now. I'm going to try and move away from this right now. There we go. Good. Quick rule of thumb, folks. This goes for any trader out here, regardless if you're in cyber group or on streaming on social media right now. If the stock that you're watching is freezing up your platform, probably shouldn't look to risk money on it, right? So, you know, if it crashes your computer, move on to another trade. That's it. That's as simple as that. If it freezes up my computer later on, I'm going to do away with it. If you're in a trade and then it freezes, you better make sure you have your phone right by you. Dig right into your app on your phone or on your smart device, and then close out your position or manage it from that account. All right, the AEZS. This looked great up until maybe 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. Spiked all the way up towards 250, slammed about like 35 cents down to 213, 214-ish there. For right now, given its volatility, I'll put this on our main list. I feel like this type of stock, though, in the past has been a pump and dump, and with it already making such a big move up, you know, once already, I mean, twice you could see actually. To see this type of drop off here, it needs to get right back on up to the highs, like now, ASAP. It's starting to, so that's a good sign. But if this slams back down again here, I would just skip. So for right now, this will make the cut. But maybe in 10 minutes, we'll kind of do away with this one too. BSQR flat. I want to jump ahead here. The CLNE was looking really good heading into the meeting. I ended up plucking like 23 cents on this trade in from 1803 or 1802 out at basically like 1825. It moved up nicely up towards the high at the time, 1842. It still seems pretty strong in relation to those highs. It kind of made an under and over move from 18, and you know, if it can try and hold a higher low, and then maybe there's a chance for this to break out as well higher. So yeah, the CLNE I don't mind adding to. So the ZOM, that's right, ZOM. I saw one of us just say ZOM was moving up higher. Certainly looks like it wants to keep going here. 290 resistance from there. 3, pretty much the whole last week or so that we've been following this stock. I mean, even back when it was like a 70, 80 cent stock back on the 11th. We ended up seeing the stock trade practically like 5 cent levels. Every 5 cents for there to be like some larger order to a degree on the bid or the ask. And here, as it's moving up faster and faster, I'd probably even expand that to like 10-cent increments. You know, pretty much every 10 cents for there to be like some larger order on the bid or the ask. Now, obviously, that's subject to change. There could be an iceberg order, like, you know, I thought I saw 100,000 shares just on the bid a moment ago off 275. Just keep your eye there, perhaps. But you know, otherwise, just watch the bid. I would assume every 10 cents or so for there to be like a much stronger level. 250, 260, 270, 280, etc. All right. So the ZOM, I don't mind adding to. I like the top of the list, though, between the Mara, the Riot, the INO we'll check back in with, but that one so far looking pretty good. Oh, man. Talk about traders' dyslexia today. We have CLNE, we have CLSN, we have OPGN, we have OGEN. And then there's one more, I thought. There is also OCGN, I think the top percent gainer that we were looking at, right? Oh, man, it's a tongue twister today for anyone that has like traders' dyslexia like myself. I've been doing a good job so far today, at least with it. So hopefully I don't trip myself up into the close. Veru, this ended up making a big pop earlier this morning, but as you can see, it died off, dropped back down pretty sharply and flattened out since. Got the REI stock. I wrote this down in pre-mark. I scratched it off my list, though, pretty early. Let me just check back in. All right, I'm going to jump over to the losers list, folks. I always feel like it happens this way, where I say exactly that. I click on one more symbol before I even say that, just as a prelude. And then this stock looks like one of the best plays. This MOGO stock, MOGO, man, blasting up towards 750 right now. I always feel like it ends up this way, where I just say, like, all right, we're going to hop over to the losers list, and then bam, like a perfect mover here. I'll check it on Benzinga Pro. I don't mind. Got time here? And nothing but time. Let's see. We got the MOGO stock. There's no news here. No news blurb, no headline coming out here. I'll take it. It's fine. doesn't mean that we're not going to trade it. Actually, I'm more interested in this compared to like the OCGN right now, really. So yeah, for right now, this will be on our list for sure. We'll hop over to the losers list though. We'll see if there's anything looking just as good, if not better. I'll tell you, I had a pretty crappy morning. I've been battling my way back. I'm like, I think still down a little bit, but like very close to break even at this point. I was down probably the most I've been in the last like few months, really. And it's not even a whole lot, but just this AMC trade, as nasty of a chart as this looks, this was like one of my best trades from the morning. Goes to show that like not much was working my way personally earlier after the market opened, but this was one of the better ones. Like I got a nice long trade from 6 up towards 620. It was pretty good. That started the comeback for me there. Yeah, this one otherwise though, I just wanted to jump to this quick and just state that. But yeah, right now this one not looking good at all. CRNC, pretty expensive, pretty down on the day, but yeah, we're gonna pass on this too. Huya, familiar name, HUYA, just not really doing much as well. Ooh, pen down big. I don't know if that's off of any news or off of maybe just profit taking. It was up so much off of their earnings, breaking all-time highs. Yeah, I don't really see any news for Penn National Gaming. All right. Interesting drop-off this morning. I'm sure they'll come back, maybe drop down, make a higher low, perhaps off 110 on the daily chart. Just shooting from the hip with that, but we'll see. All right, folks, I think that's just about it. I'm not even going to look at GameStop there. If there's anything that you got for me, let me know here. Type it in the chat board. Mike is saying the LAIX, he's posting some news on it right now, at least. Nah, we're going to move away from this. Marcel, look at that, 60 cents. Marcel S inside our trading room. He got in from 30.60 earlier on the INO trade. So as I was just flapping my gums, this INO trade just kept going. Damn, that looked good. That's a hell of a profit, Marcel. Very nice. ABUS. See, yeah, I'd rather trade this ABUS over like the LAIX there. Yeah, this looks phenomenal. This nice push up right now. Now, the thing that's like not throwing me off, but really catching my eye is hopefully it catches yours too, just on the chart here. You have some monster prints on the tape, some monster volume spikes here. So someone had to have either loaded up or scaled out. I mean, big transactions here right off 465, 466. Just draw a line right there. We'll see if that comes into we'll see if that's any use later on today, if it takes any effect on where the stock is. But for right now, nice trend up, beautiful run. It is shortable if it does crap out the other way, but doesn't look like it will so far. Yeah, the ABUS definitely going to make our list. ZSAN, worth watching at 160, Norman saying here in the chat board. Pretty slow. That's my only gripe on this, because it's already moved up so much, dumped off, moved back up. So I would love to see this make a sharper run up into the close. It's just been so slow across the day. So I'll put this on our main list. Definitely good call for right now. If it breaks back below 160, I'd be careful. BTBT looking a lot better now. Chuck says it's at the high of the day. There we go. There's our 22 breakout. So, I'll kind of group BTBT with Mara and Riot. I won't put it on like the main special list. Just that's only because of the lack of liquidity on the book, Chuck, and the fluctuating spread. I like Riot and Mara a lot more if they're all making the same type of move. So for right now, I'm going to keep those on the main list, but I like the heads up here. It's popping pretty nicely. If you're in from 22, you're killing it. Marcel says he made his day's pay on the OCGN alone with half the lot. Marcel, geez. I know one of our traders, Monica, ended up picking up her like record day last week, and that was just on 100 shares. So it goes to show how much opportunity you could really capitalize on in this market. It's not just picking the right stock. It's a matter of knowing like what you're actually doing, right? I'm not saying that to any one person in the trading room here. In fact, I'm really saying that to anyone streaming on social media right now, Facebook Live and YouTube. It's not just like the watch list. After we post the watch lists, it's a matter of making the right call outs, making sure that we're not buying underneath resistance, making sure we're buying right above big levels, right? So I love to hear that from Marcel. I saw that something similar from Chuck earlier inside the trading room. He killed it this morning. All right, from YouTube, what else we got? There we go. RJF commented on the ABUS. I didn't catch the post at the time, RJF. I'll give you partial credit for that, alongside one of our traders inside the room. DFFN, nice pop, definitely nice pop. Sharp move off 140-ish, we'll call it, and then the same person. Oh wait, whoops, I typed in the wrong stock there. Told you. Now, see, now we got another contender here talking about like tongue twister stocks. You got the AEZS, and then you got the AESE here, which is being shouted out on YouTube Live right now. So, you know, I like the fact that this is popping. It is up 22+%. It's tradable by all accounts. It's just that for this to be so slow that make this pop, I feel like it's just going to crap out the other way. That's my like gut telling me that. It looks like it can keep going. I feel like if we have so many of these stocks on the watch list, we're going to be too overwhelmed, right? So I'll tell you, I think that we're going to call it right now, even though there are probably a couple more tradable stocks that we could look at. But I think that we have a pretty big list, a pretty good list already. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stocks to watch at least so far. And then outside of those, folks, if there's anything else, again, like the AESE here, this could be a move heading into the next like 20, 30 minutes, perhaps. You know, outside this list, we're going to start with this list. But once, you know, the next 10 minutes comes into play, if there's nothing moving well from these 10 that we're looking at, then we'll dip outside and go to our scanners, see what else is out there. All right. All right, folks, I think that'll just about do it. So for all of us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, first and foremost, just make sure that you like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/cybertradingu. A quick heads up, it is tentative, but I'll say it right now. Coming up next Tuesday, that is February 16th. Coming off President's Day, Monday, the market's closed on Monday. We only do this maybe like 3 times the entire year, but actually coming up on the 16th, next week, next Tuesday, we're going to be doing our Traders Talk workshop, streaming it on social media for the first time in like really a long time. We haven't done that probably since midway through last year. So I look forward to that. Just that's for that reason. That's why I say make sure that you like, subscribe, notify, just so you know when we're going live, when we're not. And then outside of that, feel free to join us Monday to Friday live inside the Cyber Group Trading Room. For all of us live there right now, just give me a quick moment. Gonna refill up on water here, jump onto a quick call. I'll be back on myself at 3:30 Eastern, taking you into the market close. All right, folks. Talk to you soon. Take care.